Hello and welcome, Construction Sport Podcast. We have today Joli Riley from Summit Scowl, business management, business coach.
Business coach, yeah.
In that side. Thank you for coming down.
Oh, you're welcome.
You've been brought to us by our dearest Katie Glenn.
Yeah.
Who said you lived life to the fullest and it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And she said to me, get on the podcast, you'll love it. So no pressure.
It's about, to me, it's always been about life in my days, not days in my life.
Love it. Never heard that one, but I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Life in my days, not days in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and have you always been on this journey of the business mentorship?
No, actually, I've had a meandering route to it. So I was a computer scientist. That was a programmer. So I had a very corporate career for about 20 years.
Yeah.
I worked in investment banking, kind of soul destroying, but paid well.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went into consultancy. So I was at Lehman Brothers when they went bankrupt.
2008.
Yeah.
At that time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I'm right in saying. My sister worked for them at that time.
Oh, yeah.
She did work for them, and then she went to Bank of America after that.
So it was a tough week. I lost my job, and then my husband, who worked in construction, was building Lehman Brothers data center. So we didn't feel like we had a risk of because we had very different industries. But he lost his job.
You're both
as well
in the Lehman supply in the chain of employment and supply chain, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
But I've always had a good work ethic. So my old boss phoned me up the next day and said, I guess you need a job.
Yeah.
And he just started a consultancy. So he had a job, the next day. So it wasn't so traumatic.
Yeah. Was your husband okay? Or did he find work?
He actually went and ran a charity for a few years.
Wow. Construction to a charity. Who'd have thought it? Look at that. Is he available? Oh, really? What was the charity? You don't mind me asking.
It's a maritime charity.
Oh, wow.
So the ex-auxiliary naval service.
Amazing.
That was disbanded in the late 90s because of government cuts.
Okay, yeah.
But people still wanted to do those so it's basically like the Home Guard, but for the Navy. So they used to... Yeah, so I got involved. He and I are both scuba diving instructors and boat handling instructors.
Yeah.
So he found the charity, signed up, he had time on his hands whilst he was looking for a new job. And obviously it was a really tough time back in the, the financial crisis.
I remember seeing that on the news. When I left school. It was because I was doing window fixing, and now that company come to a bit of a halt, and I had to go out and find some more work. I went down the rugby club and got work down there basically because someone said I needed labour on Monday, and that was pretty much it. So, and there was a few years of that. But I always remember watching Sky News and seeing the guys walking out like Canary Wharf with the boxes in their hand, just all packed up, wasn't it? There was such a familiar picture.
The day of Lehman's collapse, I used to get in for about 7, and on the Sunday night, they phoned me and said, you need to get in early tomorrow. And I was like, what's early then? Yeah. They were like, I don't know, it's just a mandate, you've got to be in early. Yeah. So I had my alarm set for 5, and back then it was a BlackBerry, not an iPhone.
Yeah.
So I was like scrolling, and I was like, oh, we went bankrupt. What do I do now? But a very British thing, we just like go into work anyway.
Just programmed to go, I've got to get in a queue for something.
Yeah. And then we stood around all morning going, what do we do? And then the head of IT for London said, I'll wait till head of IT New York comes online. And so at 12 o'clock, which is 7 in New York, it was a very short conversation because 5 minutes later he came out of his office and he just said, they said, we're a separate company.
Wow.
So we all went to the pub.
Very British.
In a crisis, go to the pub. And
well, that is the thing, and I said this with someone before, when things go wrong, crises happen in terms of even weather stuff, everyone goes to the pub. That's the community comes together in the pub.
Yeah, and we did think about the whole, grab a computer and run out the building and get on the news, but no.
Yeah.
There we go. But so then I went into consultancy and I loved it. I went from big corporates into smaller companies and realised that I much preferred to have a big impact.
Yep.
Whereas I think it kind of didn't matter when I worked in a 20,000 people company, how hard I worked on the bottom line, So so that
be someone in a small company, can't you? Yeah, not just
and then I worked for a software company that was UK based. but they wanted to expand globally, so
Cool.
I joined them. And I've always just been someone who can get shit done. I think that's like
Is it? Yeah.
that's my superpower.
Amazing. Yeah, what's the programming world like then? Before then, because obviously before 2008, I imagine this was like early 2000s in that world, was you? Is
Yeah,
that what
yeah, late 90s.
He was
Yeah.
controlling the Millennium Bug.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't know anything about computers when I went to university. I just, because Y2K was coming up, I thought that'd like be a good job
Yeah.
that would get, pays well.
Yeah.
That was all that I really cared about. And I was good at maths and I knew that I could problem solve.
Yep. All interesting times. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. Computer programming early 2000s.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. When the clock struck 12, wasn't it? Millennium. I was like, what happens now?
Well, it's when everyone said, it was all a big effort for nothing. It was actually because we'd worked really hard to make sure nothing went wrong. Like, you don't get any credit for the fact that,
the defences were in place.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. Should let a little bit come
I think
through.
people would have been happier if planes had fallen out.
Everyone likes the drama.
Yeah.
Don't they? The press like the drama, don't they? But the scuba diving then, you're a scuba diving coach.
Yeah. So
When did this start?
when I was at university, I thought, everyone.
What university as well on that?
I went to Imperial College
Okay, yeah.
in South Kensington. in London.
Amazing. Yeah. You started scuba diving.
And so I didn't do anything in my first year. And then everyone said, join some of the clubs because it's a great opportunity while you're there.
Yeah.
Heavily subsidised and all that.
Yeah.
So I joined the skydiving and the scuba diving club. But the skydiving club, the weather here is not normally good enough to jump out of a plane because So I became a scuba diver in my second year, and the problem that university clubs have is that people leave after 3 years.
Yeah. Okay.
So in my second year of scuba diving, I was teaching.
Mm-hmm.
I was an instructor by the time I was 21.
Amazing.
And then went off around the world between uni and starting work for 6 months, doing a conservation project in Fiji for 3 months.
Oh, wow.
And counting fish.
If that was your job,
yeah.
counting fish. Yeah. I could do that job. I can count. Just.
And that was,
in Fiji, I want to go there. My sister went there on a honeymoon and she brought back a Fiji rugby shirt. And it cost her a fortune, like 70 quid for a shirt. She went, you got to do it. You're in Fiji. I'm your brother. Help me out. Yeah, unbelievable place, isn't it?
Oh, it is amazing, yeah.
Did it come across the Fiji time? Everyone thinks done slowly, isn't it?
Yeah, and on because it's Friday today, we should be in Hawaiian shirts. They're called Bula Bula shirts.
Bula Bula shirts.
Yeah.
Yeah, super. I've got a couple at home actually. Yeah. There's a rugby background. So Fiji has always been on there. I really want to do it one day. I'd absolutely love to.
Oh, it's an amazing place.
Yeah.
They were cannibals until the Victorian times.
Yeah, that's not long ago, is it?
No.
Yeah.
So they have really interesting stories, because actually it's kind of the older generation there still have some of the traditions from that very tribal period in their life, until the missionaries went there and basically killed them until they became Christian.
Yeah.
So they were very Methodist, the island I was on. But so they couldn't drink. But if you looked under their bed, there'd be all these empty gin bottles. So
yeah, and I've noticed that there's been a lot of talk of them in the professional rugby world about the Fijian guys would come over and they get on the drink and it's a bit trying to protect them a little bit from that world. I've done Hawaii. That was very cool. I went there. I got engaged in Hawaii, but we learned a lot about the Maui culture over there because obviously a lot of that
it's all Polynesian, isn't it?
All Polynesian. And there was a show on as you do at the hotel one night and they spoke about how the people who made it to the Polynesian islands are the big, strong people because they were able to row such treacherous conditions. And that explains, I know firsthand from rugby that they are big people. They hurt.
Yeah. Well, one of the craziest stories they told me was that traditionally when they build the church, I don't think they do this anymore, the 4 strongest guys from the village stood in the holes for the corner posts of the church and they basically sacrificed themselves.
Wow.
Became the corner posts of the church.
Christ.
But you'd be like, I'm not that as big. I'm a bit skinny.
Yeah,
actually.
I'd go on a diet a couple of weeks before it. I'm going out running the week before.
I guess it was a great honour to be picked, but really interesting culture. That,
for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of fish?
Yeah, we were on an island that they wanted to try and turn into a national heritage kind of site,
Well,
you know,
yeah.
protected.
Yeah.
So yeah, there was a lot of unusual species. That was more what was important, was like to try and protect. But it was the only place in the world where there was crested iguanas on the
Really?
island. So that was
Wow.
also part of like trying to make it into this
Yeah.
protected area. Yeah.
Unbelievable. Best country you've scuba diving then?
Oh, I've not had that question.
Okay.
I get asked the question of my favourite dive, and
Yeah.
this is the one that I think of. So I dived in the Arctic Circle
Wow.
up in Norway, near Narvik, and there was a hospitality ship. So basically a cruise liner, a bit like, you know, the Titanic, was
Yeah.
requisitioned by the German Navy
Okay. Yeah.
to provide downtime for the German officers.
Wow.
And it was just moored in a bay.
Yeah.
And then during the Battle of Narvik, it was sunk in that bay. So it's not particularly deep, and it's in very sheltered water, so it doesn't get affected by waves and tide. And,
Okay. So much in one piece as such.
yeah. So you dive down and you can swim around the sweeping staircase. You imagine that Titanic moment.
Yeah.
So it's quite a deep dive at its deepest, about 50 meters. So it's quite technical. So it's challenging, and that's exciting in itself. And then but because it's slightly on a slope, as you come back up, there is just like thousands of scallops everywhere. So when we were off gassing, because you have to wait before you go up to the surface.
Yeah,
we
I'm
were
going
then
to come on to this because this is the one thing that was stopping me from scuba diving.
yes, then we just collected like hundreds of scallops as well.
Yeah.
So to me, it was like the perfect dive because it was deep and challenging, but historic. Like I always think wrecks are like a time capsule.
Your body was like the feeling of that, seeing this stuff in front of your own eyes, isn't it? And you're saying, I'm never going to forget this moment ever.
No, well, the thing is, you know, if you've ever been to the SOMA, you can try and imagine what it was like in the trenches, but it's totally different now, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas actually a wreck, you know, you see the Wellington boots that are just there. You're taken back to that moment. It's very preserved, and it's very poignant. You know, to try and imagine the panic and fear that people had at that time. So I really love historic wrecks. That's the thing that I
So
really
if you've got a
love.
passion for history and you can bring all this into one
Yeah.
and see it. Was it cold down there?
Oh yeah, it was. But that was 20 years ago, and they just brought out heated vests.
Oh really? Yeah.
And so yeah, my buddies all thought I was cheating because I had this heated vest on, but the technology wasn't quite there yet. It was meant to be waterproof, but I kept getting little shocks. Like this underwater. They were like, maybe you're better off being cold rather than electrocuted.
Was there a period of time you could be down there because of the cold, or was it more just because of your oxygen?
All the other divers just stayed down for about half an hour.
Yeah.
Especially because it was repeatedly cold.
Constant.
Whereas I had a buddy who weirdly just his body like generates heat. He'd take his gloves off at the end of the dive and it would pour out hot water.
Really, yeah.
And I had the
kettle.
Yeah. Just a weird metabolism or whatever.
Yeah, the heart rate works differently.
Yeah, well, he's a gas engineer, so maybe there's something.
Yeah, he's had a little spark somewhere along the line, wasn't he? He's showed it. Superb. Well, we've just done a couple of days at ice skips at the exhibition we were just at, the exhibition, the competition at Super Trail, where we're all about promoting mental health and well-being. They rang us up and said, Steve, we filled up a big skip before on a few
it's
sites
like an
in
ice
London.
bath, but a skip.
Yeah, so we had a skip. We'd done one of the big industrial kind of skips we've done in London a couple of times, and we had 6 to 8 people in them at one time to step into it. And this one, they run, you get what they call a mini skip, what goes on a forklift, and one person can get in it. I say that no one normally gets in these things because they're skips, but a company donated the skip for the tipping skips, they donated the skip for a few days, and then Super Trail, the company who was running the whole event, rang us up and said, can you come in and do the ice skip challenge for us? So
Love it.
Yeah, so we've done that. We filled it up, literally the baths, 150 kilos of ice each day, and then that lasted throughout the day. At the end, people at the end were like, I've done 10 minutes this afternoon. I'm like, yeah, but if you got it this morning, that we got, when the photos, went for the photos, what we got, and you can see the ice kind of melting throughout the day. But I got in it, I had to test it out first time each day, first in there just to see, and it was cold. Yeah, it was, because it's a steel because then metal goes very cold.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and the ice in there was a lot more ice than water as well. And it was just like, whoa. I've done a few ice baths before, but this was a cold one. But yeah, we'd done 5 minutes in there, and it was all about teaching people. But we had the good thing, we've done a lot of breathwork coaching in terms of understanding the cold and that when we do it. So when people get in there, we can guide them through that a little bit. And but you see people getting there panicking, and I'm like, no, just relax, you're fine. Just get up. And one of the guys said, stand up. Just stand up a bit and just now breathe, and then lower yourself down with this breathing in place.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'll do a minute, and he's like 4 minutes in, and he's like, this is amazing. And then he comes out. And we said as well, we all slept so well on the first night of it as well. It's like we've all been the ice in the day. There's science to it, isn't there? So,
There is, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't do it much, but I do like it when it comes up.
I do one a week.
Do you? Yeah.
I'm building up to one a day.
Yeah.
But-
Because the cold shower, I think the cold shower is just as hard.
Oh, it's harder. in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that whole, as you said, if I kind of get into a zone, just like slow my breathing down, go inside, and I can get into bath, and I don't even feel that it's cold.
Yeah.
But that shower's like,
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, because I'm not sure that it was the fear of. There's a lot of people in this exhibition walking around watching us do it. Just play it cool, like, like only fools and horses kind of scene. I'm absolutely fine. But I even got the heart rate on, so I put it on the watch just to keep an eye on my heart rate, and that's now I understand how to do it. I can get into the water and I can just let my whole heart rate drop, come right down. Whereas you think you'll get in and it will just go, but it's not. It's like, yeah, the science behind it, and we want to. Our idea of what we're doing at our charity side is get people realising that how beneficial this is as a natural way to support yourself.
Yeah, and if you can do one every morning, you know, you've done the hard thing of the day. Right? You've already done something that was difficult. I love that terminology,
yeah. Everything gets easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And people always surprise themselves with how long they can be in there as well, I think. And the body just, operates different. I got it actually with the breath work, talking of Ficklefield, we went last week. My forearms, even in the ice, forearms go numb and my hands go numb. And that, I haven't got the full sensation back in that finger yet either. I'm not sure if it's struggling, maybe it's a bit of groundwork and over years I've damaged it. And I probably have with hand-eye vibration syndrome, should we say, a little bit. But even the breath work, my hands go so tingly so quick. And the forearms, and that's when you know, Christ, this is doing something, this breath work. And I notice at Ficklefield, they come around to me quite a lot of time. They start playing with your hands, don't they, when you're doing the breath work, if they can see. I don't know why. I'm always know, when I get angry, my hands go numb as well. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm sure there's some science behind it. Maybe I've just hit too many hammers over my lifetime.
But the thing that's really interesting about breath work is, you know, there's lots of different techniques. Some of them are to help you relax, some of them are to help you process trauma, but some of them are also to give you energy. Yeah. So, you know, that kind of 2 o'clock slump, you know, after lunch and that type of thing, there's this amazing breath technique called dragon breath.
Okay,
It's like quite fast breathing. In like yoga terms, it'd be like pranayama. It's about giving you life.
Yep, okay.
And it increases the oxygen levels. So, you know, that's one of the things that I do and do with my clients.
Do you? Yeah. Actually, you teach as well, the breathwork side now? Yeah,
well, I'll just use breathwork. You know,
as a tool.
If I'm doing a coaching session, someone's just gone from like a really busy day. Yeah. You know, they're just like totally in the detail, and then they've got I've got to think strategy now. How do you switch your mind from like working in one mode to another, or you need to concentrate on something and you're tired? Yeah. You know, using breath work to switch your brain into a different mode of working, to give you energy or to help you focus. Or
I completely with it as well, because I saw a therapist myself. I was in a dark place probably 2018-ish really, and I went to see a therapist company who did they do trauma support for people when they're at the front line, a company called Happy Treat, and they still support us now with people that come through charity who need help. And they do, they work at the time, and I think they still are today, do a lot with people, frontline police officers, emergency services, and train drivers and things like that who've witnessed stuff. And I'd been diagnosed with PTSD probably 5-6 years prior to that, but I just wanted to understand my own head. So I sat down with one of their therapists, and I started doing, done 3 sessions with them, and they were like, look, you're fine now, you don't need it anymore, crack on. And in my head, I was like, just sat in there with them, and it was unbelievable. And it was all breath work, really. Ultimately, it was close my eyes and just breathe and listen to the lady that was treating me. She went through all this talking and that. And then after the first session, she said to me that there's going to be some some of the nightmares I'd suffered with previously, a few things might come to fruition this evening when you sleep and that, but it's completely normal, it's fine. And in my head, I remember thinking, you're not Mystic Meg. I'm not really sold on this, but I'm going to give it a benefit of the doubt. And that night, 1 o'clock at night, was always the time-ish, I think, of when I used to always wake up. I woke up living what this lady just told me that day, and I was like, she's in my head, what's she done? And then I was sold. I was from that day forward, and that's where the charity ultimately probably started from. And I was like, why have I went out for a run a few weeks later, listening to these recordings that got given, and it was just breath work and controlling your breathing and listening to this recording and saying breathe, this and that. And I always run for 60 minutes. At the time, I was running a lot for 60 minutes. So it's just a very low pace. I don't ever measure the distance. I just run for an hour, and that was kind of it. And then I went out one night, and it was a lovely evening. And I just thought, I tell you what, I'm going to carry on running. So I'd done like an hour, like Forrest Gump. I thought I was going to carry on going. And then and I'd done a second hour. I want to see if I can do another hour. And I've never run past 60 minutes in my whole life. I ran another 60 minutes listening to these recordings. And I run my second 60 minutes quicker than my first 60 minutes as well. And I was like, I couldn't have done that without this recording. I've already done this if the flow state has kicked in.
Yeah.
And I just loved it. And I just went and went and went. And I was just like, and in my head was, why have I been taught something like this? That is, obviously there's a lot of science to it, but I thought for me as someone who's not very good at school, I wasn't educated easily in an academic point of view, I was like, how have I learned this so quickly? And this is so beneficial to me. And no one's taught this at school, or no one's been taught this across the construction industry. And this stuff is massively helping me now. And that's where we just got to a point of we need to promote this and show people that we can do more here by just breathing.
Yeah. And it's a free tool, right?
It's easy. We've all got it.
Yeah.
So now, 100%. And there's in my head, I'm like, yoga, you say, all the meditation, everything goes back to breathing, doesn't it? And
it does.
Oxygen in the blood.
Yeah.
But that's always need to promote that as much as we can. So you're using this with your business, on the business side as well, with it, how you do it.
Yeah. So, you talked about therapy. But coaching in a way is therapeutic, but it's not therapy. So it's about proactively, processing things rather than waiting until you're in crisis, where you then need reactive, like therapy to help.
Yes. Yep. 100%.
So, I think, and going back to your very first question, a meandering route. So I was COO of a software company. In reality, I was probably burning out myself.
Yeah.
It was a lot of pressure for a long time, and I'd always been great at dealing with stress.
Yep.
And there's suddenly, it just builds up. It's like a cup, and you think at first you deny that there's a problem.
Too strong, too tough to deal with.
I can do this. I've dealt with like bigger problems than this.
Yeah.
But once that cup's full, you've got nothing left to give, and it overflows.
Yeah.
And I thought, really, I stripped it back to what do I love about, working as a COO, and it was coaching others and helping them and developing them, and
amazing.
And so I think, even though it seems like a strange thing to go into coaching after being a computer programmer, ultimately it's all just problem solving, and it's about finding a route forward. And
it's got the same strategy to all of it. Yeah.
So
the companies you help now, and the individuals, you do it on an individual basis within the businesses, or
so I work with the business founder.
Yep.
So working from either like completely solopreneur to up to a business owner that maybe has 10 to 50 employees.
Yeah.
In reality, they've all got the same kind of problems.
Yeah.
Regardless of the industry they're working in.
Yeah.
The common themes I see are people that just try to do everything, and actually leaning on.
Here. So there's a reason I put her in front of you. Saying it. Yeah.
But, we've got this really toxic trait, I think, in this country of like feeling like you have to do it all. And actually that's fine. Like you want to set up your own business, and to start with, you do the admin and you do the marketing and you do the selling and you do the work.
Yeah.
But, after a while, most business owners end up hating owning a business. That's why only 50% of businesses last a year, and only 10% of businesses last 10 years in this country, because you end up resenting. So in my coaching, I try to look at people's time management. What do they not like doing? Actually, what's not their skill set? Outsource that.
Yeah, 100%.
That's a great investment to pass that on and then do the things that you love, because nobody started a business to do everything.
Yeah. And it's such a, when Alex come on board 3 years ago, then Will come on board a couple of years ago, Katie's come on board Christmas, I'm like, oh, thank God for this, I do that. I can moan at these guys now and tell them, why aren't they doing it when I should have been doing it years ago? But it's literally that, isn't it? And when it empowers you, and you realise there's people out there, if I've got a problem, I can find someone to fix it for me by coming on board, isn't it? Yeah.
And also just, collaboration of ideas, right? I mean, the 1 + 1 is greater than 2 kind of idea.
Yeah, simple as. Katie's been great with it this year, actually, coming on board and just realising, from her background and understanding construction as well from the scaffolding perspective and seeing how to do things, how not to do things, and understanding the landscape of the construction industry as well, because it's a very different sector, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you have any customers or clients in the world of construction?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Brilliant.
But I think because my husband worked in it and we've been together 20 years, I do understand, that industry as well.
Yeah. It's different to the others, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. But, again, it's, similar problems,
Really,
that I solve regardless of the industry.
Yeah.
The other thing is teams. So people always want to hire clones of themselves, right? So that the work is consistent and they know what to expect. But actually, you don't get, the benefit of collaboration if everyone's the same.
Yeah.
So, and then people don't think about team dynamics. So they hire strong individuals.
Yep.
But then at some point, they need to think,
clashing.
Exactly. You've got to have, variety of different skills and that to make the whole picture.
Yeah.
I do work on making sure that the team dynamics are working well and
the right people.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing as well. When we say about the team thing as well, and I feel because with the 3 of us, and 4 of us, we catered the last, we just had the last couple of days, and it's just been hilarious. There's a reason there's no HR processes in place behind the scenes here. And I'm trying to contain it. I'm going, guys, this is just too much. You know what I mean? But the dynamic is so important, isn't it? When you bring someone into that, you can change it massively. And it's finding the right people, isn't it? I always think, I suppose the 3 of us will come together, 4 of us come together naturally, of just kind of, Katie come begging at the door, going, I need a job at Christmas. And we said, come on then, you can come on board.
Yeah, and people always think about like the more superficial elements of like what their skills and experience are when they're hiring. But actually what you need to look at is like, what are their values underneath?
Yeah.
Because if you have a team of people all with the same ideals, that's when it's a great team. Right? Because they might have different skill sets or different ways of working.
Yep.
But actually, if you've all got a common vision and goal, then you'll all work together. Yeah.
It's just like a machine, isn't it? There's different parts to it to make it operate in the same way.
Yeah. Well, like I love the story of when JFK went to NASA in the 60s.
Yeah.
And he spoke to a janitor and he said, "Oh, what do you do?" He said, "I'm helping to send a man into space."
Superb.
Like he didn't say, "I clean the toilets," right? Yep. And that's the thing, in a strong company culture, everyone is working on that mission, whatever that mission is.
That's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, like an American story to it. Yeah, get the man on the moon. That's the thing. One of the guys just sent me a video actually earlier. The guy from Tina Dixon just done a video, and it's about the cleaner on Thames Tideway, the project that she cleaned up, and he's just done it. I'll show it after this, the clip of it. And there's a character, this guy, and I was like, that is construction. He's a cleaner on a job, and so you wouldn't say that, but the character he is. And this video and the way they put it across is extremely professional, and it shows just how important every part is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's, I think, what's the great thing to highlight. We get a lot of it as well. People saying, Steve, what you're doing at construction sport. I'm like, this is a team. And most of the time, it's just my face of it. I'm saying, but the boy said, I couldn't do any of this. If it I can record on my phone, and that's about it. And but it is a pure team effort.
Well, if you had a stonemason and you just told them, like, gave them a spec to chip a piece of marble a certain way, but they had no idea how that was fitting in.
Yep.
How motivated would they be?
Yeah.
But also they'd have no, they wouldn't have any leeway to make any decisions for themselves, right?
Yep.
If they were unsure about something. But as soon as you explain to them that you're building a cathedral and the vision of what that looks like and how it all fits in, straight away they're going to be way more motivated and feel, part of something bigger than just themselves.
Yeah.
Which, purpose in life is ultimately the most important thing.
I think I've heard that before. As people saying that in London, like, look at not the job you're doing individually, look at what you're creating. And so we go to I go on Crossrail now, and we were there for 4 years on that project. And I ever saw where the trains park at Shenfield, or the Crossrail trains are. That was my area there, making the big retaining wall that was there, and that's a really good part. But in between that, from Stratford to Shenfield, all these trough routes was like these plastic trays where the cables were laying, and it's not much. And I go through the whole of Crossrail now, all the way through Central and through the tunnels, and I'll go, I built this. I was at the far end, actually just enjoying myself down there. But I'm like, no, I built this. I played my part in being part of that team that delivered this project. I tell you on it as well, there's a guy, Gymshark, the brand. He, what's his name now? Ben Francis. He created it, founded it of that. But then one of the first things he done was he hired a CEO, and he employed someone to come into work, and he worked under him. So he's like, I don't know how to be a CEO of a global brand like what I want to be, so I'm going to bring someone in. And over time, he then just took the position naturally. But I was thinking, how good's that? It's like putting your hands up and being like, look, I have the ability to produce something, but I don't know how to deliver it in a way, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, and actually it's a brave move, right?
Yeah.
And it takes a big man to admit that they have things to learn. But it didn't hamstring him, because he's stepped back now into...
He stepped back again, is he? Yeah.
Yeah, so, it's about... learning from a master, right? And then,
definitely.
Coming into your power when you
because I
the
think
right time.
it'd be interesting to see with the road that we're taking with this, because I don't class myself, I'm not titled the CEO of Construction Sport. We're all just scratching along really. But then we go to all these events, and I'm alongside all the CEOs of other of charities, and then they kind of say to me, I'm the founder of Construction Sport. I'm like, yeah, I'm not the CEO. But then I also think, I'm like, give it a couple of years, you won't be here. I'm here for life.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of turnover of staff in that way. And I'm like, we're still here, and I'm still hanging on, shall we say. But yeah, so what was the plan with it? You got more businesses? You taking on more businesses as you go, and more clients as such on that side?
Yeah. So I have I do business coaching, but I do executive coaching as well. So business coaching is where I work with the founder directly.
Yeah.
And then executive coaching is where I work one-to-one with someone who maybe is like senior management, but honestly, it could be anyone in the company that's got potential, but needs some.
And would they come personally to you to work with them rather than through the business to work?
No,
with the
so
executive?
normally the company would sponsor me for them.
Amazing.
So they'll see it as personal development for that person.
Perfect.
And you mentioned mentoring. So there's, just to clarify the difference between mentoring and coaching. So mentoring is where someone has lived experience in that particular sector, done that job, and they can give you advice. And I can mentor people, but the problem with mentoring is that just because it worked for you, the solution that you had when you saw that problem, doesn't mean it works for that person.
Yeah.
And actually, if you always do things the way you've always done them, you'll always get what you've always got, right?
Yep.
So I really like working with people who challenge the status quo, disruptive, want to do things differently, aren't afraid of standing out from the crowd.
Yeah.
So with coaching, I ask the right questions to unlock the potential in that person.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. I'm not telling them how to do it.
Yep.
Actually, if they come up with the idea, they have a lot more buy-in, and then they'll be more invested in actually seeing it through. So it's helping them to have accountability.
Yeah.
But it's using things like breath work, and like helping them to change the state of their mind to be able to think more clearly. Because we all, if you've ever heard that analogy of the rocks and the sand in the jar, right? We all have the ability to put loads of sand in the jar. And our day, you get to the end of the Friday and go, oh, I did a lot of work this week. But you normally just did busy work. So the rocks are the strategy. They're the long-term vision. They're what do you need to put in place? Who do you need to hire? What changes do you need to make to have a long-term difference? So coaching allows people to step out of their day-to-day, to take that time out to really focus on, longer term.
And I suppose with your job as well, every case is a different challenge in itself, I suppose, even for you, isn't it? Let alone for your client.
Yeah, and I really love it.
Yeah.
But I love the results that I get. People everyone has imposter syndrome. At the most senior levels, And that's often what I'm dealing with is people that have like self-limiting beliefs that they don't deserve to be successful. It's really interesting. I always thought of like the fear of failure was what was holding people back, but actually it's the fear of success.
Yeah.
People are scared to be really successful, and this like chip on the shoulder of like, oh, who do you think you are to,
Yeah.
actually, we all have, the people that are really successful, they're just humans as well, and we all got it inside us.
I had it as well. There's two things I remember. Like, I spent a period of time in hospital years ago, and I always remember I was in for 10 weeks with ulcerative colitis of the stomach, and I lost my large intestine. It was very gory, a lot to it, all brought on from stress, PTSD, diagnosed, all this, I believe, from my own homework of the links between it all, and that's why I'm on this journey, shall we say. But I spent 10 weeks in hospital. I spoke to so many different people from all different walks of life, from cab drivers to bankers, all in the ward with me, sitting there. My dad's a London cab driver as well, so I've been born and raised to speak to anybody anyway. So that chatting to people was not a problem, hence why I've got a podcast now. And but then all those years, I got involved with a group called the Rugby Centurions, who celebrate the international rugby players that have got over 100 caps for their country. And I got involved with them for a bit, took a few companies along to a few of their events, and got built a relationship with a lady called Victoria Gosling. Let's see her OBE/MBE. She's got two of them. She's now the head of the Invictus Games, GB Surfing, GB Snow Sport. She's a brilliant ambassador for just mentorship, I suppose, and what she's doing is unbelievable in the coaching of all these organisations he's head of now. And she was there, and her husband Chris Evans as well, who's got his own business in this world. They brought all this together, and they were really engaged in what I was doing, and I think probably felt sorry for me for a little bit because I'm just groundwork around this mad idea. But they could see something in it, and I've spent a lot of time. I still speak to them to now. And they invited me along to Queen's Tennis Club for an event. They said, we've got one of the Centurions coming. Do you want to come in to be there part of the day? I was like, oh, that's cool. He said, bring yourself and a guest. And I was like, well, I'm out on site with one of the videographers doing some filming. This is 4 or 5 years ago now. And they said, yeah, come to Queen's after. And I didn't even know what Queen's even was at the time either. So I was like, okay, no worries. We got into a job. We were in literally our overalls and dirty stuff. And I was like, I've got a shirt and the trousers in the back. And I was like, we'll try our luck and just get there and see if we can use the showers before the event. So we've pulled up to Queen's, and it is, you would look at it as a very, very well-to-do place, looking down on my level of construction worker probably will be looked down on. And I got to the security gate and I was like, Christ, let's see what we can do. I've blagged a few things in my lifetime, but to use the showers at this private members club, what like is impossible to become a member at, is going to be another one. So I got there and I said, excuse me, we're here for an event. The Rugby Centurions, is it possible to use the showers first? And this security guy treated me as if I was one of the high-enders. He was like, yeah, of course, sir, no problem. They guided me around, parked me up and then showed me in. I was like, and everybody in there was so lovely. And I was like, Christ, I didn't expect this. I shouldn't be in here. The imposter syndrome. And I've gone through to this little private event, or to this event where I didn't know how many people were going to be there. And there was only, I'd say, 30 max of people in this private room with a long table, and straight opposite from me to you was Brian Habana. What's rugby, but he's one of the fastest rugby players on earth at the time, and he run over 100 caps obviously for South Africa. He's won multiple World Cups. He's like one of the faces of world's best ever rugby players. And I was like, Christ, I'm there. And this guy next to me he had a law firm on King's Road in Chelsea, and this other lady, the person was a barrister and bankers, and they come around the table. And I always remember thinking, I am so out of my depth here. Like, what am I doing? Like, and they come around to me and it's just like, so what do you do for a living, Steve? And I was like, I'm a ground worker. And I didn't say the charity side. I just said I'm a ground worker. I wanted to test their reaction. And and everyone was so interested in why I was there for a start and then what you're doing. And I had such a good crack. And then it was very accepting. They were brilliant there. We still do a bit now. We cycled to Paris with them a few years ago. But unbelievable. They treated us with so much. Yeah, it was brilliant. I was like, and ever since that day, I've not had any imposter syndrome ever again.
Good.
You know, I'm like, no, you're just another human being.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's no reason why. And yeah, when all the chips are all down, when COVID hits, all these bad things happen, the recessions, construction, we still carry on working. You know, we don't sit back. We don't get told to sit at home. Yeah. Did COVID play a part in any of your business? Were you doing? Did it help or promote with people understanding themselves a bit more or wanting support?
Yeah. So I was still in the corporate world. So actually I was living in Singapore when COVID hit.
Oh, wow.
So we had it earlier.
Yeah.
So I'd just moved out there in the July before. my husband was about to come out in the February. So he came out to like look for a work out there and for us to find a house together. And I was going, I'm not sure this is the right time because, the Singapore government at the time was sending the numbers of like cases every day and where they'd originated from. It was very controlling government there.
Yeah.
Like you got a WhatsApp message every day about this stuff.
Government sliding into your DMs.
Yeah. And then through the 3 weeks he was there, it was getting worse. And then obviously, then there was that case of the British guy who was like the super spreader who'd been in Singapore, picked it up, come back to the UK, infected a bunch of people, gone skiing and infected like a whole ski resort in Italy.
France. Yeah, Italy
that
was
poor
it?
guy.
Yeah.
You know, like,
the super spreader. Was it? Did they ever name him?
I think they did.
God.
So, yeah. So then
That's a book, isn't it? One day.
Yeah. So I was like, at the time I had a bunch of people working for me out there and in Australia and in Hong Kong, and I was just worried about them and like, kept checking in on them. Did they want to go back to the UK? What were they? And my boss said to me, "Oh, do you want to come home?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I hadn't thought of that. No, I'm fine. I'm all right here." And then I woke up on the Saturday morning and to the news that the US had banned flights to the UK, and I was like, "That's it. I'm going home. I'm not getting stuck."
Something's going to happen.
Because everyone follows suit after the US does something like that.
Yeah.
So I had 2 new joiners starting on the Monday. So I was like, I want to get them in and settled. And then I flew home on the Thursday we locked down on the following Monday. But there was about 4 people on my flight because
was it?
Yeah, it had already kind of started to no one was travelling. So I got home just in time, but my cousin was living with me, so it was nice because we had 4 adults in the house.
Yeah.
And her boyfriend at the time, he's a roofer, so he, I think he the first month, most workers.
There's a little quiet patch, isn't there? Yes.
Then he was working, and then we kind of ran out of building materials, right? So then he couldn't work because
merchants were shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. We had that. I think I was working on the roads at the time, so we were classed as critical workers as such because we were repairing a tiny little cracks in a bit of concrete on a bridge that had probably been there for 100 years. But they were like, "No, we need you doing it, structural work."
Yeah.
So we were. And I had a young boy as well at the time, and the baby was there, so he was 2 or 3 years old. But we were straight back out there. But even that, actually, there was nowhere to go and get supplies if we needed it. Even lunch. I'm not one for taking lunch to work with me, but we couldn't get any food anywhere.
No.
And I'm always work. I love hot food when I'm at work. No matter what day is, I want to go for a hot meal. That's all. I don't ask for much. You just got even a hot bacon roll. I was able to take cold sandwiches with me all the time. I was like,
and then no public toilets were open as well.
Great,
this is mad. You're supposed to be washing your hands all the time, and then you can't even wash your hands.
It's such an inhumane thought looking back at it, isn't it?
Yeah.
The way the world operated.
It was.
Do you reckon we'd ever do it again?
No, I don't think. I can't believe how we followed the rules.
Yeah.
And how quickly we got brainwashed, essentially, right?
Yeah, 100%.
It was when I'd watch a movie and you'd see people hugging and I'd start feeling anxious.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this feeling? Why am I feeling anxious? And you're like, oh God, because I've, but you get, I think the physical side of COVID, and yes, obviously none of us wanted to have, the
struggles, isn't it?
Lots of people overloading the hospitals, but we will live with the impact of the mental health for years to come from this.
Mm-hmm. And the people who lost people, weren't they, and weren't able to, the funerals, and that's I think where it went wrong in the government side of it. I won't get too political on it, but not to, can't attend a funeral, but they attend a party. Just like, Christ, this isn't looking good, is it?
Well, sadly, my brother-in-law died of COVID, but really, he died of mental health because they put him into hospital. He was asthmatic. He had COVID. They put him on the machine, but he wasn't sedated. And just none of us are able to visit him, meant that he, after 5 days asked to come off the machines.
Did he?
Because he couldn't cope with being isolated.
Loneliness.
And sadly, we were like, I'm grateful that we were allowed to go in to be with him in his last moments, but it was too late by then. Like, if we'd visited every day, and that was our choice.
Got to that point.
We could have kept his spirits up, and actually, human connection is so important.
Yeah.
And the more that we're isolated in the world, and which is happening more and more with people working in remote, it's all physically possible. It's all logistically possible with technology.
Yeah.
But you have to have moments of connection with people and genuine human connection.
Yeah. I was away the other week on holiday with the family, and I took that small camera, actually, we go up there. I took that with me so I could go over take photos of night without taking my phone out. So I could leave the phone and just engage on having some downtime without clicking on all the bloody social media stuff that pops up. And yes, because you go look at photos and you get naturally drawn towards WhatsApp, and then you end up on LinkedIn. And I myself was mad, so I've done that camera. But I was there, went down to wait for my wife was just getting ready. The kids were at a little kids club, and I sat down in the outside bar area, and there was loads of people down there, and I was the only one who wasn't on my phone. And I'm a sucker for that. I'm normally that person, but it's the only time because I didn't have my phone, I was able to sit back and look at it. And I was like, everybody's here, but they're not here. You know what I mean? Like, they're just like, there's people there. Years ago, everyone would just be speaking to each other, wouldn't it? Because there's loads of us on our own waiting for our other halves, guys waiting for girls, girls waiting for guys, or young kids around. I'm like, we'd normally just chat, and we're losing that natural thing, aren't we?
Yeah.
And it all gets a bit.
There's a yoga thing I go to in Hackney on a Saturday morning sometimes. Sometimes there's like 160 people go.
Wow.
It's amazing.
Really?
But before the session, everyone's on their phone. No one's talking. You're like, this is about community. But actually, after the yoga session, it's kind of like broken the ice and people do chat.
Yeah. We saw at Ficklefield, you go back on that one last week, actually. We all sat down and were apprehensive at the best of times. So people were on the phone a little bit, I suppose. But as soon as we all come out of that breathwork session, everyone just opened up with each other.
Yeah.
And everybody, for us, in terms of running a construction, what's built around businesses / a network of businesses now, what we want to ultimately help them businesses help each other as well. And we are just the top of it, saying that we're a charity that needs all your help, but we can carry on helping you guys if you help us. To then see those naturally just chatting away and enjoying it. And everyone's guard has obviously been dropped, but everyone was so defensive at the start of that, like, what's going to happen? Are we all going to wake up crying here together? How awkward is this going to be? And everyone got up and was like, I was crying, was you? And I was like, yeah, and everyone was. It was like, yeah, you all got to us all. And then a couple of people was like, did she come round and kiss you? I was like, not me. Will did. I think, do you think she kissed my ear? But incredible that, though, isn't it? Ficklefield going on that one and what they do.
Actually, I'm running a supper club at Ficklefield.
Are you?
Next month.
Yeah.
And the idea is just, about human connection. And, people need to broaden their horizons. And, so, yeah.
There's such a place for it, isn't it? And for us, it was lovely because, and I'm a sucker for it, but it was lovely to have a business network day in support of construction sports, so it wasn't built around going to the pub as well.
Yeah.
It's such a natural go-to, isn't it? Like, what should we do? We'll do this. We have some drinks after, shall we? We have some drinks after. And I am, people were listening, were going, as if you're putting that down, Steve. I'm the first one to say, let's go for a beer. Don't get me wrong. But I loved the idea of not doing that. And that is something we got to harness.
Yeah. Actually, so the first time I went to Ficklefield was 2 years ago. Have you done any SOMA Breathwork?
No.
So you'd
not heard of it either.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of the backstory of it. So actually, the guy who came up with it had ulcerative colitis.
Well, when you said SOMA, then I thought stoma as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I know there's a connection there.
Well,
yeah.
But he, I think he's British, but Indian origin, and he was about to have, stoma fitted, and which is obviously a massive life-changing
big time
operation. So his mother said, there's this Ayurvedic doctor coming from India to England. Why don't you try it? Like, you've got nothing to lose. And through the breath work, he managed to not ever need the operation.
Really?
So he was like, that's something that's like interesting. And obviously he was a pharmacist. So he was like, it's crazy how many drugs we're pumping into people.
He's putting himself out of work, ultimately.
And then he was also a part-time DJ.
Yeah.
So when he was DJing in like the clubs, he suddenly sometimes used to just stop the music and get people to breathe.
Wow.
And people get this natural high from the breathing.
Yeah, I'm breathing in, we say it now.
So then he started to like mix dance music, really trancey music with breathwork. So SOMA Breathwork it's to music and it's absolutely amazing. It's a really great experience. It feels like you've had a drink, even though you haven't,
natural high.
Yeah, and I went to this SOMA.
Without the hangover.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
Yeah. And it's free, right?
Sign me up again.
So I went to Ficklefield on a Friday night. I bought a bottle of Jack Daniels on my way, not to drink there, but because
Go to a
I was
party.
like, when I get home that night, we'll have a few drinks when I get home. And I did this breath work and I didn't know. no idea what it was going to be like. I just went along. And then I got home and I was like, I don't need a drink. And I think that was like the first Friday in my adult life where I hadn't had a drink.
Yeah.
And just because I was like, I don't need it.
Yeah. It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, we played football after Ficklefield. We went to a football match that we played at Biddericke Football Club with Vinci. And I got there, I went, we get ready for the game. I was like, I'm absolutely shattered. I feel emotionally drained from the Ficklefield. I was like, I'm not going to play football. I scored, but we won't talk about it where we are. No. Amazing goal. I've told everybody, and I've got it on video. That's what he's paid for, and he got it. Usually everyone has a few beers after, but I was driving anyway. But I have got to this route now of going out and thinking I don't actually have to have a drink, do I? My wife will be thinking hot music to her ears, but I'm like, you don't have to. And I live not far from here where we don't have train stations either. So if I drive, I have to drive. You know what I mean? So, but that sounds incredible, that SOMA. I'm going to look into that because that looks like the construction's way of doing it, really. And the music, because I thought that last week when the music come on with that, the breath that we done, and I think when the boy said it was the Braveheart music soundtrack come into it, and really got you going. I could feel like, come on. And it was like, this is amazing. But to get that high, what comes with it, isn't it? But you say that again with the links with the ulcerative colitis and the breathwork, you can see it. So cause it's all flare-ups, isn't it? It's all flare-ups and how it works and how your body's aggravated, stress response. Yeah, 100%.
Well, it's this thing of like, if you don't make time for your health, you'll have to make time for your illness. Yeah. Right.
I'm getting to a stage now, and I think I've noticed over the last couple of weeks, and I've noticed I've even drove home. I know it's just 1 week. My wife will be saying it's only 1 week, so I don't go mad, but I drove home from Coventry I went up there Monday and back, all the way up there, set up for the exhibition, come back, and then we went back on that Wednesday. But I drove back without stopping at the garages to get junk food and fill myself up with loads of rubbish. And that's what I usually do. And I was like, no, I'll get home, and I'm going to be home by 1 in the afternoon. I went double early. I can get home and just I'd do like a sandwich. I'll cook the egg sandwich instead. Instead of having all that junk food again. So I was like, if I can do this, and I'll wake up, have a decent dinner. But I'm like, in my head, I've got it in my hands of I need to look after myself now. I had a stoma for 2 years, and then I had it reversed, and it's all been amazing. And touch wood, I was fortunate enough to do that because a lot of people can't reverse depending on how the damage is or what's there. And in my head now, it's like look after myself now because this could really haunt me in years to come when your body naturally doesn't get as strong as it is. So I need to focus on looking after myself. But
and you are what you eat, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Like, it's the biggest thing that you can change to impact.
100%. And we started these water bottles, literally construction sport water. It's not a new invention, but we said that we've got this new formula what's going to help people deal with their mental health, like Peckham Springs, and put a real good sales pitch to it. Because it come off the back of, on a Monday morning, people saying to us, God, I feel so bad, I'm so depressed, I'm feeling negative, I'm all this and that. I'm like, we've just been, you had Friday, Saturday, and probably Sunday session as well on the beers. You have not touched a single bottle of water, and you don't quite understand why you feel so low. I'm like, there's a little scientific product called water that you can have or make you feel a little bit better. Yeah. And we're like, this is what the construction industry needs, just people to remind them that hydrate yourself. You're a machine that needs to be well oiled, isn't it? And especially when people need to look after their body. We sit at the bricklaying competition, I keep talking about it actually, but these guys who won the bricklaying competitions are fit as fiddles, they're athletes. They are training hard, they are eating well, they're in the gym, they're running, they're doing all this. And they are, look at the physiques on them, are fantastic. And they're athletes ultimately, and they look after themselves. So anyone who wants to aspire to be the best of the best, you've got to look at, you are what you eat, aren't you? Yeah. Do you do a lot of that in the nutrition side with your clientele as well, and showing that?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely like holistic. You've got to look at it from all different angles, right? Yeah. And mental health and mental fitness, because to be at peak performance at work, you've got to, be mentally fit. Yep. But, what do you eat? Are you eating junk food, or are you feeding your body with the things that will give you, the energy and the focus? Yeah.
There's always about the 2 or 3 o'clock slumps, isn't it? I listened to marketing thing on Red Bull. I keep saying that as well as the previous podcast as well. But the idea of that was to get over that 2 or 3 o'clock slump in the afternoon. What is the wrong way of doing it?
And actually, I wore a glucose monitor for 2 weeks.
Oh wow, yeah.
And it was so interesting. And I follow the glucose goddess.
Okay.
So she talks
My
about.
wife's mentioned that. I think.
Yeah. So how, actually, the thing that the construction industry does well is by having a savoury breakfast. Like a fry up isn't such a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because if you have a sweet breakfast, what happens is you then, you spike with glucose. You then have a slump. Then about 2 hours later, because you can't make it to lunchtime because you're now craving sugar to bring you back up again, or you grab, caffeine. And then, so then you make poor choices when you do eat. So you spike again, slump, get this 2 o'clock, so another cup of coffee or, grab a bar of chocolate or, something sugary. And then you're on this roller coaster all day.
Yeah.
Whereas now, so I realised that, on a Saturday, I used to be really tired. And I thought it was just the whole week had, I was now, exactly. But I realised it was because it's the only day I had a croissant. So I normally, I normally have an egg on toast, or something like that during the week. And then on a Saturday, because my husband, sleeping, and maybe I've got my family staying, and they all get up late, and I'm up early. I walk the dogs. I had first breakfast was a croissant, and then because I'll be making eggs and stuff for them later at 10 or whatever. And I used to wake up feeling fine, loads of energy, and then about 11 o'clock, I'd be like, God, I'm really tired.
Yeah.
And it was the bloody croissant all the time.
You blame the whole working week. I need to change my mind over. I need a new job. I need to change everything.
And I just don't eat croissants. You can eat them, but you can eat them after you've had your savoury breakfast.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of the time you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
But have them as a dessert.
Yeah.
As it were.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I just don't get that Saturday slump anymore. It's amazing. Really life-changing.
Yeah.
From something so simple.
Yeah, and there you go.
The simple biscuit in the morning is the thing that is...
Simple biscuit, I can take. I'll get on board with that one. That's for sure. Simple.
Yeah.
Is that a pack of biscuits?
No, just
Simple pack of Marylands.
You can only have biscuits after, as a dessert. That's one of her rules.
Well, I have noticed it. Well, like you say, that eating bit, even just drinking the water, hydrating yourself, and it just stay. It's understanding your body, isn't it?
Yeah.
As well, wasn't it? Yeah. I can't eat beef actually after all these years of the stomach surgery, and that's one thing I don't eat now. And it's understanding the body because I've come to so slump with it, where my body just can't digest it properly, and it takes so long to process. And I just so that mushrooms is literally people say, why not beef? I just say it's sacred animal. And then they walk away just I'm really confused on this. And I just leave it at that. So no, thank you. But I'll have a chicken burger all day long. Yeah. So going back on the scuba diving, on the places you've been then with it, I'm fascinated by this. Where is
all over.
Yeah, where is the best place in the world? So is Egypt? I always say people think Egypt's better than the Great Barrier Reef and things like that. Is that true?
Well, look, I mean, it depends on what you're looking for, really. So, Egypt's amazing in that it's only 4-hour flight from the UK. You get some. Yeah. So it's not very far to travel, and it's cost effective.
Yeah. And warm.
But but.
There's no German boats. That's something there. There's no history.
So it's very individual, isn't it? So for me, World War II wrecks are the thing that I love the most. So I went out to the Philippines a couple of times. There's all these Japanese, battleships that were sunk.
There's a bit of Pearl Harbor.
You can't dive Pearl Harbor. But essentially, Coron Bay is the retribution for Pearl Harbor. So the Americans retaliated and sunk the Japanese Navy in the Philippines.
Yeah.
You've got these amazing wrecks there that you can go inside the wrecks and be swimming all the way through it for half an hour before you come out the other end.
I think that's where I'm going wrong with scuba diving. I've always just thought of it going down deep places and seeing loads of fishes and stuff. But you're right, the wreck stuff must be incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, and it's almost like my alter ego. So. I feel like I've put on my Superman cape.
Yeah. Just floating around in this. You're picturing this. I suppose you're probably picturing that boat on top of the water and the planes coming over and all sorts going on, isn't it? Imagination run wild.
Yeah, definitely.
What is the crack thing? Because my wife said this was out at scuba diving. I said the idea of when people's lungs burst and things like that scares me. But I know that's not everybody. And that's when you come up to it quick, isn't it? There's a name for this, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, there's. It's interesting that when I teach scuba diving, I think it's lesson 4 where it tells all the things that can go wrong. And
Yeah.
That's when everybody starts going a bit pale and they're like, oh, maybe I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
But yes, obviously, if you came up and held your breath, you could burst your lungs. It's like a balloon, you know. But the bends is probably what you're thinking of, like decompression sickness.
There's a guy passed or died in the Midlands somewhere. Was it a few years back in a reservoir? And it was, I'm not sure if it was Gloucester way or somewhere in the West Country or the Midlands. And he come up, it was too quick. And I think that's probably what scared me. You're going to get me back into it. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to say.
But the thing I always think with these things is, you know, probably the most dangerous thing we do in our life is get in a car.
Yeah.
And we all do it every day and we don't even think about it. And, you know, when there was a hot air balloon that, you know, crashed recently in Brazil or somewhere and someone said, oh, I've always wanted to go in a hot air balloon. I probably won't now. I was like, really? It's probably still really statistically safe.
Yeah.
And that's what's holding so many people back. Yeah. Like, if you've ever read the book, and it's a bit dated now, but, you know, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway by Dr. Susan Jeffers.
Yeah.
You know, what she says is the thing that's holding nearly everybody back from leading the fullest life they can is that their mother, every day when they went to school, went, be safe.
Yeah.
Right? And we're all just conditioned to be safe and not take risks.
Yeah.
But actually...
embrace the fear.
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, we're going to do it. Where's best to start? When we'll do it? Do you still do lessons now?
I do, yeah, I teach you.
Where do you do the teaching? Do we have to go to Fiji?
No. Well,
we've got a fundraising event coming up. We're going to Fiji.
I mean, I teach people in the pool in London.
Do you?
Old Street, yeah. Shout out to Clyde Dive. Dive Club.
Can we get a construction sport skydive club?
Well,
skydive, scuba dive club. We'll discuss the next one.
We could definitely do an event there, though.
Just a little tester for people to come in. Get a group of us to come in. And we've got a van ready on this. Is an old one now, but each event we have construction sport and the sport underneath for it, so we can have scuba club.
I can definitely do it.
That would be cool because we keep saying we need to go on tours and stuff, so we can then plan a tour to some cool shipwreck to go and see it. Yeah. That would be cool. A bit of history lesson. Cool. Well, we want details on that. I'm going to find out because I'm really keen for that and to get a few people into it. And everything we do is just giving people tasters of what's out there for people, hobbies and interests.
Yeah, and you know, the thing I really love about like the dive club in the centre of London is it's a real mix of people, you know, because there's a melting pot of, you know, it's very like people come to London, they don't have any friends or, you know, any community around them. So they'll tend to like look for like, oh, I'll learn to dive like while I'm here.
Yep.
So you just get
such a community.
Yeah, it does, you know, and it's really life-changing for some people.
Definitely. Well, once they've got the skill with that as well, they can go anywhere in the world with it, can't they? Yeah. We always say, and we looked at the sports we do, was like, why is this working so well and why are people so open and loving each other's company after the end of it? And we said it's the community it builds, isn't it? The sport is whatever the sport is, but beyond that, it's the community that sport builds together. And you'll probably see it in the scuba diving stuff. But we want to embrace that. Then the main thing with it is ours is the hobbies and interest side as well, is especially in the high pressure work, because you've had environments like in the past, people lose touch of their hobbies and interests, don't they? Especially with life in general. Yeah. So stereotype myself as a man with kids and a wife at home, you work all week and then you do everything you can for your family at the weekends, and we see it massively in the rugby world of the amount of people that lose touch with rugby as they get later in their 20s and in their 30s, and by that time they're not playing at all because they're putting a lot, and rightly so, they've got the family and loved ones to look after as well, but they're missing that little bit of their time or me time sort of thing. It's like that's why we're cramming that in now in working hours. We're like, the company should realise that this is a work that we can enhance people's lifestyles by giving them a little bit of something during work hours. So we get a lot of companies go, can we do something with you with our company on the weekend? I'm like, no, we do it on your time, not your employees' family times. So,
and that's one of the things I've loved about becoming self-employed. Like, when the weather's nice, I'll just walk the dogs for 2 hours. Yeah. But it's
you can.
When I like come up with the best ideas.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm not sat at a desk.
Definitely.
I'm still working because my brain's still going.
Yeah.
You know, but actually stepping away, that's the best time.
I sat down on the treadmill. I was running on the treadmill in the mornings in the gym. I've got to get back into it, as I keep saying. But up until my second one was born, actually, I was in the gym most mornings running. But now when the second one comes along, the dynamics indoors change dramatically. So I did, and then when baby was doing well enough, I didn't get up as early to go to the gym because I normally wake the household up. So I'm like, I'll just wait till everyone wakes up and get up together. But I was always finding I'd run the treadmill in the morning at 5:30, 6, and my mind was in the overdrive of all these ideas, and all the best stuff come during the exercise.
Yeah.
And I'd go to London sometimes, and I'd get on the train, and I'd see everyone who's got on the train, and they've only just woken up 20 minutes ago, and not blowing my own trumpet, but I'd be in there going, I'm so far ahead of today than you are. And I felt like empowered by the fact that I've been up for a few hours. I'm not ready for going for lunch soon. And these guys are like literally haven't had their breakfast. And yeah, it was like, you're ahead of the opposition. There is no opposition there, but I'm just ahead of everyone. You know what I mean? So empower yourself and get amongst it. Where can people find you? Where are you? And where do you advertise? You on social media?
Yeah. So Summit Scale website.
Yep, brilliant.
And they can find me on LinkedIn,
Super.
Facebook.
Amazing. Get amongst it.
Yeah.
Like I say,
but my name obviously is pretty unique as well. Joli.
Joli it is spelled. So Jolly. Where's that from? Where's the name?
Oh, so my grandfather was Joseph and
Yeah.
my grandmother was Lillian. So it was a
was it?
concatenation of their names.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
I had a Joseph, my granddad, and his surname was King. So he wasn't Joe King.
Joe King,
He was a
yeah.
Joe King.
Yeah.
So that's not even a pun or joke myself. That is literally what it was. But and I'm a Stephen. Thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate your time. How are we for time? How are we doing well? Oh, fantastic. No, I really appreciate your time, and we're definitely going to take on this scuba diving thing. So everything, our hunting ground of construction firms is in London. And there's, again, how many people in London? Millions and millions. So we've got we can harness a few projects, bring them together. We're going scuba diving, and Alex is half French, so blame him for the croissant as well. But when you were saying that, you were waiting for me to reference. We're always cramming everywhere a little bit of something French towards in the podcast. So, hasta la vista. On that note,
I have one rugby story.
Go on.
I don't know much about rugby.
We like
But
rugby
as you
stories. Is there
mentioned
anything
it-
else we haven't touched on as well, please? Yeah, if there's anything we need to touch on.
So my only rugby claim to fame is that I went bungee jumping with Anton, who was captain of the All Blacks at the time when I was in New Zealand.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Superb.
He was actually out sick with a ankle injury, so I wasn't sure that bungee jumping was the best thing.
That sounds like a rugby lad.
But he did the highest bungee jump in New Zealand, which is the second highest in the world, which is 3 times higher than a normal bungee jump. And he jumped off, obviously, no fear. They called, when he came back up, they said, do you want to jump off backwards? And normally they only get people to do that if they've done loads of bungee jumps because it's much harder.
Yeah.
And it was the whole room we were in, it was like, so it was suspended across a canyon. And it was not much bigger than this table, really. Like there was very confined space. So he turned around, and as he went off, the fear in his eyes, I thought, yeah, even the toughest rugby player can be scared of this.
You can picture the moment he knew he messed up, sort of thing, as he's done it. And let's freeze frame it.
But
he did it.
He wasn't allowed to say, no, I don't want to do that.
Nah.
He just
you're the
toughed
captain
it out.
of the toughest rugby teams in the world
Yeah.
ever. Yeah. Come on, big boy. Show us what you got. Break the big man. Yeah, for sure. Well, I still wouldn't fancy that at the sky. I can't do the bungee jumping. I don't think. One day.
I did. Yeah, I was in my 20s. I think it gets harder as you get older to do stuff like that.
Yeah. I signed up to do one in a car park in a pub down the road from here. They've done like a crane come along the tower. I don't know if they do that anymore. I'm surprised if they don't. And I was 17 years old and I signed up to it. And it was a charity kind of fundraise to do it. And my dad stopped me from doing it. Oh. He said, you're not doing that until I'm not being responsible for sweeping up your mess when you hit that car park floor. You can wait till you're 18. And then the way he put it to me, I never signed up after that. I was like, yeah, it could be a mess actually. I always think of myself as 16 stone and that shouldn't be jumping off of things. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming down.
No,
and a big
pleasure.
thank you to Katie for bringing you to the party.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in the swimming pool in London.
Yeah, very good.
Doing it. Thank you.
Right.